And then they did a great package on the whipping. Great editing on the whipping package. I'll say it in a minute, with the slow-mo shots, and you could see the belt hit fucking Cody's back and the flesh ripple and everything. That was a great deal. Then they have Brandy join the announce team. What did you think of Brandy's contributions to the MJF Jungle Boy match on color of taken up for her hubby Cody?
I didn't think she added a lot. I also think, I mean, I'll ask you, you're the booker. How do you write off something even if the fans completely hate it? I mean, a few weeks ago, she was a maniac cutting people's hair with her bald assistant and Awesome Kong. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to just move on past that. You know, oh yeah, I had a concussion or whatever, and I was doing these things, and now I'm back to normal.
It was good last week when she came out because, you know, she's Cody's wife, and Cody could look up, and because you could even tell they were kind of booing when she came out. They, but Cody was, you know, the tears in his eyes and reaching out to her, Ricky Morton type selling. That worked. Otherwise, Brandy needs a rest on television because she couldn't be a heel here. As a babyface, she adds nothing because she said nothing. But anyway, apart from that, surprise, surprise, this was the best segment of All Elite Wrestling Television that I've seen since it went on the air, for actually accomplishing something from start to finish that it was supposed to without doing anything stupid in the middle. MJF versus Jungle Boy. Imagine that. Although they announced Jungle Boy at 157 pounds. Remember when I said with fucking Kip Sabian they could get by with 201 or whatever? This further in my mind, Jungle Boy should be the only guy in this fucking promotion announced at under 200 pounds. Because then he would be special. Even if you got to put some rocks in these other little kids' pockets to get them whatever the fuck, lie, cheat, steal, whatever. Announce there 201, 203. If Jungle Boy was the only one and he was 157 pounds, that would help tremendously in the subconscious. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus's entrance would be so great without their village idiot fucking kid tag along. And at least they left them in the back. They came out, stunt, slid under the legs, and then they fucking fucked off where they should have been because this needed to be Jungle Boy's spotlight. MJF was the first real superstar that I'd seen on the fucking program tonight. Yes, Chris Jericho was out there for a fucking promo so far, but this guy took over the fucking screen. He was the focus of the attention. This is why I'm glad they had this match, because now instead of trying to tell people who've never seen it what to do, I can just say, go watch this fucking match. Think about this. MJF didn't work with this guy like they were equals from the start. They fucking wrestled around a little bit to a stalemate or equal fucking thing at the start, and then MJF took over on him and made it look easy doing it because he's a top guy and Jungle Boy's a middle card guy. And that's the way they were working. But then, as heels often do, MJF gets a little cocky and gives the kid a few openings. And fucking, wait a minute, maybe I should have taken this more seriously. But now the kid's starting to morph into where he's having one of those performances where he's just got too much guts and he won't give up. And then MJF's starting to get frustrated. And then fucking finally, and ultimately, he should have won when he could have won, because now this kid may beat me unless I get my fucking heel henchman to hand me this goddamn gimmick so that I can fucking get a goddamn cheap shot in. This whole thing was built to where Jungle Boy started as a middle card guy and ended up better than he started, even though he lost. And you can tell he's going to be a top guy and he's moving in that direction. Meanwhile, MJF was the focus of attention even when he was on defense. Every time he took a bump, it was something that was built to get a pop for him taking that bump. And even when he was doing stuff to get Jungle Boy over, attention still focused on him. As you could tell, even in an unsmart mind, he's leading this match. He's in control even when he's not in control. That was a little thing that Lawler used to be able to do with his TV studio matches where once a month he'd feel like working for 10 minutes on Saturday morning. So he'd get Ricky Morton or Steve Regal or some middle card babyface that could do everything. And he'd lead them through a fucking classic, make them look better than they were when they started, beat them, and get some fucking heat. This is exactly what MJF was doing. He paced it right. He bailed out when he needed to. All the facials were there. He led this thing like a fucking maestro. He got something out of everything. A program between these two guys could get over. And it was so good that I watched the picture-in-picture, and sure enough, MJF is getting heat, but he didn't waste any big shit. He shut down one hope spot, and Jungle Boy sold. And then he used the picture-in-picture time to set up the backdrop spot where he gave Jungle Boy a shoot in the corner and then a backdrop, shoot in the corner and then a backdrop. And he knew exactly where he was. I'm sure he obviously got a stooge off from the referee because immediately as soon as they come out of break, he goes for the third time. Jungle Boy reverses it, backdrops MJF. MJF takes a backdrop and the people fucking blow. Now they're doing wrestling shit that's safe and looks good and is getting a reaction without paralyzing anybody or anybody need to steal an ambulance. The only thing taken away from this was Brandy. The people are chanting Jungle Boy, who makes a nice comeback, and they built to where he does a dive through the ropes, does another dive through the ropes, boom, boom, and then finally the big one over, 3 dives in a row, but it built and it meant something, and the people go crazy. They worked, they built to them, the people cared about them, and they came unglued when they did them. Then MJF takes back over and gets that great upside-down surfboard deal. And so he's not finished yet with this fucking kid. And he does, hey, Brandy, you could add a real man, and cupped his fucking cock at her, which was the best use of Brandy out there all night. Finally, when Jungle Boy comes out and against all odds hits that fucking sit-down power bomb, the people go out of their minds, and here comes Wardlow. And all he's got to do is walk around there and slip MJF the fucking ring. Boom! A punch. Then hits Cody's finish, which he's now calling the double cross. 1, 2, 3. Jungle Boy got fucked. MJF could have beat him early because he's a top guy, but he was too cocky, and then Jungle Boy was putting on the press, and now it got out of fucking MJF's hands, so he had to use the fucking backup and the gimmick from the cheater. You motherfucker. Boom. 1, 2, 3. And then Wardlow hits his whirly bird thing that he does on Jungle Boy to add insult to injury one time, and the fucking heels leave.
A little bit of a tease potentially for the future with Luchasaurus and Wardlow.
Well, yeah, well, exactly. Because that's naturally what people are going to want to see. They're going to want to see, not only, they're going to want to see Jungle Boy get even with MJF sometime, whether that ever happens or not, I don't know. But they'd like to see that match again because it fucking tore the place down. They'd also like to see MJF and Wardlow have to face fucking Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, so the odds would be even. The only thing they don't want to see, or they better not want to see, or they better not fuck it up, is putting that fucking little ignorant kid out there to fuck things up and take attention away from Jungle Boy, who can be a real fucking star. But this showed them. Leave the fucking kid at home. Make Jungle Boy the small baby face in peril with the heart of gold and the guts as big as Texas. And then you've got money instead of a clown show. Something that people are going to look at and think is silly and laugh. And Luchasaurus, like I said, and like you said, and Wardlow at some point. But they still, and MJF comes out of this even better to go against Cody. There was no downside. Everybody prospered, and everybody was serious about what they were fucking doing. Apparently, it's impossible because they barely ever do it. Maybe they ought to put MJF on television more often, since every time they do, he hits a home run.
You know, another thing for everyone who listens to the reviews that we do and says, well, you know, the style of wrestling you like doesn't really work today. This goes to show you
it just worked.
It worked. And if people care about I hate to use the word character, they care about the persona. If they care about the heel and the babyface, that you can do a match like this without a million different flips, and people are completely invested in it and they care. They care about the people, and the match worked.
They cared so much. Did you notice, by the way, Santana and Moxley? I mean, they were up for the entrances, but after that, that match could not follow this match. And the people you could tell they weren't into it like this match until all the fucking shit happened. But anyway, I'm amazed again at MJF's poise, and he doesn't get rattled. He's always in the right place. He knows what's going on. He knows where the camera is. He has, if he swings and somebody ducks, he looks shocked that he missed. That's another thing we're missing these days. Is anybody's facial expression registering that they didn't plan to do everything? It just happened.
And you know what else gives me hope? I mean, MJF's what, 23?
Yes.
How old is Jungle Boy?
Good God, I don't guess I don't know, because hadn't he been training for a while? But certainly, can he be 30?
I was actually thinking maybe he's a little younger, but I was hopeful that here we have two guys, I was thinking in their 20s, putting on a match like this, on a show like this. It gives me a lot of hope that there is some talent in their 20s. I'm assuming Darby Allin may be in his 20s as well. There's some good up-and-coming talent that AEW does have that, when used right, are showing the kind of wrestling that I enjoy. It gives me some hope.
It's hopeful, but unfortunately, some of the executive vice presidents have fetishes that prevent normal people from getting screen time.
Well, you know, the one thing I've learned in corporate America, executive vice presidents don't last forever.
Well, that is true.
Unless you're on the board. Then you may be able to help yourself out a little bit.